Hey everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and today is day 4 of our October 2021 release. Hey everyone, so I am using the new stamp set, Rotten Pumpkin Juice Freebie. Now this is free with a $40 purchase while supplies last, along with rounded tag dies, our stitch square dies, and our card mat dies. And there are my two, I've colored 2 images. So I stamped one onto Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock, colored it with Copic markers, and the other one I stamped onto 80-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock and colored it with Copic markers. So I went ahead and I'm using my rounded tag dies from Jaded Blossom, and I cut it out of Paper Tray Ink white cardstock first. And I'm adding some art glitter glue. And basically, I'm just sticking down my layers. So I've used, what's it called? October 31st, Doodlebug's October 31st 12-inch paper line and 6-inch paper line to do this. So I went ahead, and that's the black dot one, I believe is the 12-inch. There we go. And then I'm adding my little tag onto a black frame. So I just cut black cardstock, American Crafts cardstock, just an 1/8 of an inch larger all around. So 1/4 inch larger. Now I'm adding on my layer. This is also from October 31st paper line from Doodlebug. And like I said before, I'm going to add on some glue. And there we go. Now, like I said, all of my products, not all my products, all of my Copics will be listed on my blog. I went ahead and did all my cutting with my Gemini machine like I always do. Now this is the top little part. There we go. I'm just checking to see where everything fits. And that is also October 31st paper from Doodlebug. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to stick down this element onto this tag quickly, just trying to get it framed nicely in the bottom. Now I cut out all my square layers. One of them was cut out using the milk carton dies, the little square or rectangle layer. And I did the same, I used the Gable Box dies for their little rectangle. And that's how I cut out my little tag sentiments. So now I just cut out a couple of layers of the same cardstock that I used. That's American Crafts Black, and then Neenah Desert Storm is the next one. And I'm just layering them so everything will be flat once I stick it down. So I'm just seeing where to trim off my little die cuts there, just so it, so I can layer things and it's nice and flat. Using my art glitter glue again. Now, like I said before, one was stamped onto Neenah Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock with Ink on 3's Blackout ink. And the other one was stamped onto Neenah Solar White cardstock 80-pound with the same Ink on 3's Blackout ink. But what I did with that one was that I colored the entire background using V09, V12, V15, and V17. Just for some fun. So now this is the card mat die that I cut out of the 12-inch line of October 31st Doodlebug paper, and I'm applying Black Soot Distress ink to the edges with a blender brush. And I'm just, just trying to get add some oomph to this card, I guess you could say. Adding in that nice Distress Oxide ink. Now, with that background that I colored on the purple one, I just basically went darkest to lightest, and I put some dot detail around the edges. Now, these are 2 stitch square dies that I cut out of the same pattern paper, the October 31st paper line. And I'm just going to ink up the edges of those. And I'm just layering them. I'll be layering them on my card to, make a nice little nest for my little sentiment image. Now, this is a 2-inch strip of paper from that same paper line. And I'm just adding black soot around that one too. There we go. So now I am adding a little frame using the same American Crafts black cardstock. There we go. Just to make it pop a little bit. You'll notice that I traced around the letters using Secure White Jelly Roll pen on that Pumpkin Juice Trick or Treat, just because I found that it kind of melted into the background and I wanted it to pop a little bit. There we are. So now I'm sticking down my background onto my card base. That's a Paper Tray Ink True Black cardstock, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches to make a vertical A2 size card. There we go. And now I will add on my strip, but I've decided to frame it out with a black piece of paper. And that's like a, you know, like a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch larger in width. So it's like, you know, I just kind of eyeballed it. So I'm just trying to decide how to lay that out. But I decided to make that one straight. So I'm going to add that to the card base using my ATG gun here in a second. And I'm just trying to decide how I'm doing this. There we go. So something like that. So now I'm going to stick down that layer with ATG tape quickly. There we go. And then I will add the rest of my layers on, just to make a really super quick and easy card. That's what's nice about dies, I think. You know, you can cut some dies, you can lay them out, make a little nest for your sentiment or your image, and Bob's your uncle, you have a quick card. So there we are, adding my next little layer on. And then this last one will be popped up with some foam tape. I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to put that down. So I'm going to use 3M foam tape for this. And then we will pop this up onto that little nest of cards, well, not really cardstock, pattern paper that I used. There we are. So fun stuff. There we go. I'm just trimming off the extra. I just want to make sure that it's all popped up evenly, that I don't have any dips or doodles on my card. There we go, and it gets to the recipient in nice condition. There we are, and then I'm just going to lay that one down for some fun. How cute is that? So now I am going to add a strip of paper to the inside. That's also October 31st Doodlebug paper. And I just cut a 1-inch strip of a piece of scrap, and I'm adding that to the center. You'll notice that I've already added a piece of white cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4 inches to the inside of the card, just to give you somewhere to write. Now you could write with a white gel pen if you'd like, but I tend to, you know, like to just write in my pen and be done with it. So now I'm cutting off the edges, and then there we go. Now I am going to add some ribbon to my tag. This is just some cheap ribbon. It's kind of like got a satin finish from Walmart of all places. And I'm going to quickly tie this up, but I'll use my reverse tweezers to hold my ribbon in place so I can do that. Trying to gather it up. There we go. And then I'll add some We Are Memory Keepers twine. I'm just going to double that up and then I will tie it in a bow. So it's easy stuff. There we are. Just going to knot that bow. Make sure it's nice and even, and then I will trim the tails off. There we go with my scissors. So this was a really easy card and tag set. Fun to add to like a little treat bag for the kids or for anyone really. Little treat for Halloween. And there we go. So now I am using some Doodlebug sprinkles. I'm using Halloween Night, and then there's some Halloween dots, but they're a matte finish. I'm not sure what they're called. So I'm going to add a bunch of those here willy-nilly. I'm going to add 3 of the dots, one in purple, one in the orange, and one in the green. And then I'm going to add some stars from that Halloween Night set in black to the tags and to the card bases, or to the card, not card bases. There we go. I always collect all this Doodlebug stuff, but I don't necessarily use it. I've got to make a conscious effort to use it more often because it's too cute. And there we go, adding it to my tag, and then we'll call it done. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and be inspired. Hop on over to the store. And remember, tomorrow everything goes live for sale. And you can get your hands on all these cool products. And be sure to come back tomorrow because there's an awesome hop to be seen. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.